Welcome to episode 7 of NPK Technology Live, and today we've got with us Pete Turner from Hydromag.
Hello folks, you alright?
And as always, we've got Stephen Brooks from NPK Technology with us.
Hello. We've got one thing to do first though. It's standard now at the start of every show.
Oh, he's checking for the pen, make sure I haven't got the pen.
You haven't got any pens on you, have you, Pete?
Why would I?
Because the first 2 episodes, we had Thomas with his pens, and he was constantly click, 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 click.
Right.
Which was a bit of a nightmare for it.
Sexual frustration, that sounds.
Yes, some sort of frustration.
So we do a random pat down now before he walks into the office, pat down for pens, and that's how we make sure that Rick doesn't have a nightmare with his editing. So just tell us a little bit about you. Not only do you do Hydromag, which is one of the UK's leading hydroponic magazines.
One of
the leading hydroponic magazine.
According to Growth Technologies poll, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do Hydroshow as well, don't you?
Absolutely, Hydroshow TV, so yeah. We started the magazine 3 years ago. It's been publishing for 2 years. We're on our 11th issue now, which is the ballast test. That should be interesting. So yeah, that should be in stores September. And then the TV show, we did that last year, and we're hoping to do it again in we're filming at the moment, and it will be shown next summer. So that's summer 2015 on Sky TV.
Are we still getting half price discount on next year's edition of that?
We love to stay.
Oh, we love to get that right in there now, folks.
Can I just say for the record, nobody got a half price discount.
Oh, he's lying, don't believe him. We got half price, don't believe him.
How much did we pay you to win that test again? Oh, I
Ooh.
should have said that, should I?
No, we'd never pay to win a test, because here at NPK Technology, as always, we're always dedicated to winning everything fair and square, testing products for what they actually say they are and not for what they think they can do.
It's true, you didn't threaten me with violence either, did you?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't do that.
We wouldn't do that at all.
No, but on a serious note, that's what's so critical and about a good magazine and a good show, is that it's done honestly. And if you read the last few episodes or issues of Hydromag, you know that it's written honestly. Look at the articles that have been written, and the honesty just shines through, and that's what you need. As Pete says, you need to cut through the bullshit that's going on in the industry at the moment.
Yeah, well, I think from the start it's been, well, I don't know if it's been happening from the start, but certainly people in this industry or companies in this industry have been able to get away with a lot of things that people in or companies in regulated industries wouldn't have been able to get away with. You know, I'm sure advertising standards would have a field day in this industry. So yeah, I guess that's what we're trying to do, and something you said, Stephen, earlier on, that we're trying to be the witch of the hydroponics industry, and that's pretty much what we're trying to do. You know,
I think you're doing it pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah. Other companies need to take away from this that although there may be write-ups that may be advantageous or disadvantageous, how do you say that?
Oh,
there's a bit of an editor going
yeah.
there. There's good and bad articles.
Yeah.
But what people need to realise is that these good articles, you know that the truth is being written, because you're not shying away from telling the truth, and that's what companies need to take. So if you've got a good product out there and you want people to know about it, you give it to Hydromag and Hydroshow, and they're going to test it. And if you're confident in your product, you're going to get a good review.
So what I will, just to go over that, if you do have a product out there and you do think it is good, put it to the test, stand up and be counted. We want to see if your products can really do what they say they can. Or you may as well just fall by the wayside and become another manufacturer who doesn't care about the industry and who's just in it for money. Here at NPK Technology, we're not about that. So if any of you companies are listening right now, do not even bother contacting our store, because we want nothing to do with you. We are only here to do good business and work with companies that are interested in hydroponics and agriculture, and are here for not just their own profit and gain, but are here to make a difference and sell a good product that's reliable and useful and can do what it actually says. We're not here to pull the wool over people's eyes, and I'm certainly, as a store owner, not going to condone any companies who think that they're going to lead my customers down the garden path by providing a product because it's in a fancy shiny box, but you know, 3 months later it doesn't work. No. So if any of you companies are listening right now, be warned.
I think there's a lot to be said about what you just said there, Thomas, you know, and I think there's definitely a few companies that are guilty
Oh, I know they are.
of trying to do that. But on the other hand, I mean, if you look at the fan test, for instance, you know, there are like budget fans in there, for instance, you know.
So what fan test was this? Can we just go over this briefly?
Yeah, so this is issue 9, is it? Yeah, issue 9 of Hydromag. Obviously, you can find that on issue.com/Hydro Magazine. And we've sort of tested all of the fans in the industry, and I know that you mentioned this in one of your previous podcasts, so thanks very much for that, fellas.
Yeah.
But it is in the interest of, you know, the consumer. So what the original point I was going to make was about testing the budget fans, and I remember when I told somebody from Icon that I was going to test all the fans, and he was like, oh, shit. No.
Oh, they start quivering in the boots now.
Yeah, don't test the Vents fan, but
Right.
but at the same time I was like, well, you know, he's like, no, I'm not. He said, I'm only joking. He
Well,
said,
what ones have we got on here, Stephen? Let's see.
Well, one of the points I wanted to make is a little bit of history about myself and Thomas as well. We first met at university.
Yeah.
We both did our degrees together, and from that we did mountaineering. That's how we are mountaineers, and we're doing the CANNA competition. Just get that in there.
Getting to the top. If you want to get to the top with CANNA and NPK, get online and check out the competition.
Yeah, get on there on Monday. But yeah, what we're going to say is that we're scientists. We consider our tests to be highly scientific, and if you go to page 16, you see the fan comparison page article, 4 pages long. They do the fan filter, 1 meters of ducting, 290-degree bends, fan and filter with the idiot loop, as we like to call it, and it's just 4 pages, 5 pages, highly scientific. And what shows in a scientific test is that it's replicable. Now, if you can replicate the tests that have been done, you know it's been a good test, and that shines through in this article. So, well done to the person who designed the test. Was that which team member would you like to say well done to there?
Come on, let's name and shame them. Let's stand them up and count them. Come on. Who was in the test? Was Cam Fan in there?
Cam Fan is in there, yeah, but yeah, no, kind of. So I do want to actually plug one of my. I'm saying everybody on our team does a really fantastic job, but since Charles came on board, Charles Chillington, aka Nico, you know, he's the one who sort of said, you know, why don't we do this? And I only hadn't done it in the past purely because I didn't have enough knowledge to do it myself. And you know, yeah, he's really helped move the magazine forward in doing these tests. So yeah, thank you, Charles.
Yeah, thank you. You've done a great article here, and it sets you apart from everybody else as well.
Yeah, very good set of graphs and figures. So basically showing you all of the scientific acumen that each of these fans produce or do not produce. So instead of just somebody saying, well, this is a really good fan, we can look in the magazine and we can see which is the really good fan, which is...
Not one of the fans is very good across all areas.
Right,
you know?
okay.
You know, so if you want to be quiet, you
so it
fall
comes
down
down to
areas,
certain horses for certain courses.
100%, so yeah. And obviously, you know, you've got like fans that don't perform well, but they're cheap, you know. So if someone wants a cheap fan, they're only working in a small area, then get a cheap fan. That's absolutely fine, you know. But there again, if you want something really quiet, you know, really quiet, you want to go for one of the box fans, like for instance, you know, you've already mentioned Isamax, you know, lovely quiet fan. If you want something that's super efficient, you know, you're going to go for the hyper fan. It hands down beat everybody on efficiency. You know, it's something like 90 watts, and if you look at the amount of power it's kicking out for the amount of power it's consuming.
But again, we've got a whole range of fans there. So what also this test it shows to me is that a good store will help out the customer when they come to choose a fan, because, you know, a customer's going to come into the store and they have a set criteria what they need to meet. Now, the duty of the store in my eyes is to make sure that we 100% meet our customers' criteria and not our criteria, because we only have... Most stores, should I say, only have one criteria, and that is to take the customer's money. At NPK, I'm sorry, but we don't just sing from that reel. I'm not just bothered about the money. I've got job satisfaction. So if a customer comes to me and walks out unhappy, I'm unhappy, and that's not what we're about. So it also gives us a good set of skills so we can judge what the customer may or may not need whilst communicating with them, and provide them exactly what's perfect for them, not what we think's perfect.
I think that some stores should start taking a leaf out of your book, really.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to see, and another reason that we're doing these tests is, people turning to page 20 on the fan issue and going, right, what do you want? Okay, you want a quiet fan, right? Look, these are the ones that were tested independently by Hydromag and turned out to be the quietest. These are the ones you want.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to mention about fans as well, like if you look at the noise variation on our graphs, a lot of shops have like displays of fans where you can switch them on, you can listen to the volume, and if you look at like these box fans, look at how much that changes when you put a piece of ducting on it.
Yeah.
So don't take that, how loud the fan is going to be by switching it on when it's in the shop, not connected to anything, because it makes a massive difference when you connect to.
Well, as you know yourself, Pete, fans are just a simple, clean-cut answer in whatever you do, because different size room, how much air do you want to move, how quiet you want to do it, how much money have you got to do it. Then once you've made that decision, then when you're going to install this fan, some variants then complicate this fitting.
Absolutely.
And can reduce the rate of the fan. So having all of this knowledge at hand before you make the decision.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And save you some money.
It's going to save you some money, but it's also going to give you the right product for what you need, rather than walking into the store and going, hello mate, I need an 8-inch fan. If I had £1 for every time that happened, I'd be a multi-millionaire. But what people don't understand is an 8-inch fan doesn't tell us nothing. It's about how many times we want to clean the air in that room an hour. Now that comes to an equation. Now if you come into the store, we can give you these equations, we can help you make these decisions.
And they're in the magazine as well.
Yes.
On page 19.
Yes.
One thing that Nico had said, or Charles, aka Charles, is that he'd been working in the store for 4 or 5 years, and after doing the test on the fans, he completely changed the calculations that he would be doing, purely based on a lot of the fans not moving the amount of air that they say they do.
Yeah.
So as an overall for fans, this is what we tell our customers. If you're worried about sound, you go for the box fans. If you want just a really great all-round fan, you're going to be going for CANFan's Isomax, or the which one was it again, the Hyper fan. And if you just want a great all-rounder, you're going to go for the System Air RVKs or the CANFan, the small version of the CANFan.
Yeah, however, they can lack on performance and can be quite high on decibel ratings, but for a budget line is a really good product, and you get a long lifespan out of them.
Obviously, I have to remain impartial on this. I can only stick to the facts. But, I'm sure your advice is,
But, however, that's just a broad horizon on the fan. If you decide that you wanted to speak to us more about your criteria, we could actually home in on, tweak that to exactly what you need for your specification.
Perfect. As well as Hydromag, there's Hydroshow.
Ooh.
If you haven't seen Hydroshow, it's well worth the watch.
Get out of that big rock that you're sleeping under and get on Hydroshow and watch us.
Tell us a little bit about Hydroshow. When did you start that again?
Okay then, that was started. We started filming that at Grow 2013, which was in September. Again, one of my sort of clients came to me and said, "Oh, why don't you make a TV show?" It's a bit of a random question. So I thought to myself, yeah, why not? We've done everything else in media. Let's have a go at it. So we got in touch with the right people. Got in touch with Sky TV. They gave us a channel to broadcast it on. Got in touch with some, media agencies who put us in touch with camera people. This is boring, isn't it? Okay then, what is Hydroshow TV about? Let me just start again. So, what we'll do is educate people about hydroponics through the medium of video, which is obviously, if someone can sit and watch a video, it's a lot less complicated than having to read a book or, read the magazine. So that's what we wanted to do.
Plus, how many hydroponic shows is there at the moment?
Broadcast on Sky TV?
Yeah.
1.
And which one is that?
That's ours, Hydroshow TV, so there you go.
Good stuff. So basically you're the only hydroponic show?
In the world, yeah.
Not bad at all, is it?
No, it's not bad, and I do think that season 2 will be a lot better than season 1, purely because of the process.
So do I, because it's only going to cost us half the price.
Don't listen to him. It's not.
What does the future hold for Hydromag and Hydroshow? What's the future? What sort of articles do you want to include more of?
I just think we want to carry on exposing the good, the bad, and the ugly products in the industry.
Sounds good to me.
I think with the TV show, we need to get a lot more in depth. and technical. Explain some of the things that are harder for you guys to explain because you perhaps don't have systems or whatever set up in store to be able to do physical demonstrations. With the magazine, just basically take over the world of hydroponic publishing.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Some of the articles as well, getting off from the purely hydroponics and growing side of things. Some of the articles that I really enjoy is the edible food packaging, Hydro and Hell's Kitchen, and those sorts of articles. If you listen to our first podcast and the second podcast, myself and Thomas and Foxy, we talked about where we think hydroponics is going in the future, and we do truly believe it's going to be the way that we feed food deserts, people that can't grow because of lack of nutrients in the soil, because of lack of rainfall. Hydroponics is going to be the way to go, and including these articles hopefully gets out there to the masses and shows people what we're doing and takes us from a small industry where not a lot of people know what we do and they think they know what we do. They don't truly know. So these articles are great for getting it out to the mass public and showing what we're really about.
Not only that, I believe Little Bird told me these are changing the national curriculum.
Oh yeah.
To do with schools and to do with horticulture.
It's going to be part of the national curriculum, apparently. Yeah, I was at the AutoPot Open Day last year, and they were saying that. Yeah, which is that's brilliant.
I think it's been a longer waiting thing.
A long time coming.
Yeah, because we import a lot of produce when we could just be cultivating that at home, actually at home in the back bedroom, instead of traipsing all the way down to a smelly, wet allotment in the middle of winter where you can't really grow many things because, you're out of season. But if you've got a tent in your back bedroom, you create your own seasons so you can grow all year round. Now, I think this is the future. I honestly do believe it because the way our climate changes at the moment, it's, for instance, our crops that we done in store absolutely beat all of the size yields that we've seen on the allotments. So it shows that we don't really have a wide basis of knowledge of growing fruit and vegetables. We've been doing fruit and vegetables for about 3-4 years or so. Some of the guys on the allotments have been maybe 20 years saved plus. However, due to the poor climate, that you can't control Mother Nature, waterlogged beds obviously stem problems, and then that leads us to have better results because we can control our climate. So
something I'd like to mention as well with my nutrition background, one of the many articles out there, if your children are having problems eating food, they're called fussy eaters. There's research after research after research shows that if the children grow their own food, they will eat that food. So if you're growing broccoli, sprouts, tomatoes, cucumbers, if you've planted the seed and then 3-4 months later you've got a lovely juicy tomato at the end of it, trust me, your kid's going to want to eat that tomato because he's invested the time and effort into growing it.
Okay, let's do something. Something's just sprung to mind. Right, for all of yous out there now, I want you, parents, you've all got a responsibility as a parent. I'm not a parent, I'm afraid. However, I do have a lot of children in a youth centre around the corner, so you can't say nothing to me. What we're going to do is the parents are going to buy a pot and some seeds, and they're going to give them to their children, and they're going to pot these seeds, and then you're going to take a photograph and you're going to put it on Facebook. Whatever child has the best winning plant, we're going to give away something. What are we going to give away? Let's decide right now.
If they love the growing and they've developed a good vegetable, let's give them a step up in the system.
Could we give them a single hydroponic system?
Something like an oxypot.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. I think Hydromag can throw some seeds in as well.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. So there's the competition now. Okay. We want to see everyone's children grow. Yeah. So one pot, one plant, could be anything, and we want to see the results.
Let's go for it.
I say it could be anything, but there's only certain things you can plant this time of year if we're doing outside.
Outside or inside?
Yeah. If you've got the space indoors and you can get yourself a CFL light bulb which costs £20, I want to see some veg. Yeah,
let's see some veg or some fruit. If you can do it indoors, so let's create your own plant environment inside your house.
If you're worried about which plant to pot, then peas are pretty to grow. We grew lots of peas outside, so if you're worrying, go to the B&Q.
We're just coming out of season though, so then they'll have to manipulate the light. But that's fine if you want to do that.
Bit basil, bit coriander will grow all year round on your windowsill or under a light.
Yeah.
So it's up to you.
Yeah.
We want to see these pictures and we want to see your children grow.
Yeah, and we want to see a picture with the child that's actually growing the plants as well. That'd be great. With a nice big thumbs up. Yeah? Cool.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
I want to have a little chat about 3 products that you have in your magazine. I'd like to get Hydromag's Hydroshow's opinion on them. First one, I personally think it's a great idea. I know Thomas does. Iceland.
Yeah, I can't believe no one's come across that one before.
Common sense product.
For those,
So go on, do you want to say what it's about?
well, for those that don't know, it's the inner pipe, black pipe, blocks out the UV, and outer white pipe reflects any heat. So what you're going to get is, am I correct to say, a 3 or 4 degree drop in the water that's circulating in these pipes?
I think one of the guys from the distribution company did some tests, and he was getting, that's enough, isn't it, 3 or 4 degrees to stop some of the heat related diseases such as pythium and other.
So basically the shortfall of it is black piping that we used to use obviously attracts heat, so it heats the water up as it passes through it. But now this white piping with black pipe inside now reflects the light and keeps the water a lot cooler. This now leads me on to something else now. Okay, so what colour are the pots that everybody uses?
Black.
So maybe this is just a silly idea, but I've got this in my brain, I can't shake it now. Would you agree, or say it's safe to agree, that if we had the black pot and the white pot, the black pot would conduct more heat into the root system, and therefore a white pot would be more beneficial?
I know that when we were building our own hydroponic system, a home hydroponic system on the TV show, have you seen the book, LEU?
Yeah, IKEA building.
Yeah. Build your own system from IKEA products. So we got two of his little systems, which we had one with clay pebbles in and one with just nutrient solution. And then I built a little top dripper system. So his was basically based on capillary action. It was pulling the roots of the plant, pulling up from within the reservoir. Whereas I had a little black reservoir and the water dripping in. And the guy from the book said, your system looks good, but it's black. And it's not going to work because all it's going to do is absorb the heat. Now at the time, I didn't know that you weren't supposed to use organic nutrients in a recirculative system. That was changing the nutrient solution enough for it not to cause any problems. In complete honesty, the top drip in the black bucket compared to his green and white buckets, whooped. It walked all over it. So I don't think, as far as black pots are concerned, I'm not sure how much.
I think there's a test. I think there's a test coming out here.
Yeah, I think
because I've got a theory. It may not be as simple as a white pot and a black pot, but if we thought about Iceland for a second, Iceland has a black pot a black tubing inside a white tubing. Maybe we could take that principle a step further with the pot.
I've actually heard of people wrapping the plant pots with black and white before anyway.
Really?
Black and white film, yeah.
Sounds interesting.
Sounds like a test's brewing there.
We could be talking about this in a few more episodes. You might find out the outcome of these tests.
Yeah. You might actually find that I've invested every penny I've got into a white system.
Next product, Plagron's 50/50. Now we've got Greg from Plagron, very good friend of ours. Yeah. Really respect Plagron as a
However,
brand.
it doesn't matter if you're a friend of ours. If your product's good, we'll tell you it's good. But if it's crap, unfortunately, we're gonna tell you it's crap.
Yeah, it could work that way, couldn't it? We could have been good friends and we promote your product.
Yeah.
But it just happens that it just happens that Plagron's product was good, so we became friends.
Yeah,
that's how it worked. We'll be speaking to Greg in a couple of weeks' time when he's back from Holland. That'll be a good podcast for you to tune into. But the point is, the Plagron 50/50 mix won a little award in one of your magazines. It won Hydroshow's Best Buy for 50/50.
It was just the best 50/50 all round.
Yeah.
Somebody did actually get in touch with us and said, you haven't tested any other 50/50 or cocoa pebble mix, and obviously didn't read the article properly because there were 2 of us in there. And obviously what we did is we tested how well they were buffered. So for people who don't know, your cocoa needs to be buffered with calcium because cocoa itself likes to hold on to calcium. So what they do is they pump it full of calcium, and therefore the plant has plenty of calcium available to it. Then we also did a sodium test, which is for growing young plants, you need your sodium levels to be low, so you haven't got an IEC from the start. And then we have obviously tested the capacity as well, so how much you're actually getting in a bag when you buy a bag of whatever. Obviously most of them state that there's 50 litres, and as our test showed, some of them weren't.
Yes.
Plagron's 50/50 mix came came up trumps across pretty much all of the disciplines that were tested against the other 50-50 mixers. But I'm in no way endorsing one company's product here. You need to go to the magazine and read about all of them, because there are some surprises there. But yeah, if you're talking specifically about 50-50 mix, we gave Plagrom the award because it did beat everybody else.
Came up with the highest calcium to, so it was a ratio, wasn't
calcium to potassium ratio. That's right. Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah. So that was verified by an independent lab test as well. So we did our own tests, but we also got a lab to test.
And if you don't read the articles really closely, to be honest, I don't think you shout about it enough, because you probably pay quite a bit of money to get it independently tested, which just goes to further show how accurate these results are and how Hydromag strive to just get you the honest truth. That's what you need to do. Big bold letters, independently tested at a laboratory, because it's not just people have these opinions about where the articles come from and if there's any bias. You can't get bias from independently tested labs. It is what it is, and that's what your results show. So shout about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it didn't happen with the fan test because we weren't aware of any labs at the time that did that. But with the cocoa test, we couldn't do one of the tests ourselves purely because we didn't have the facilities. So we got them to run a few other tests as well at the same time on all of the different types of cocoa. And independently tested, not just by Hydromag, but also by an independent lab. There was actually a mistake. Well, we thought there was a mistake. The lab got back in touch with us with completely different results. And we were sort of like, oh no, what have we done wrong? Anyway, we found out that what they'd done is they'd done a 1 to 5 ratio test, whereas the EC standard that most of these guys use is 1 to 1.5. So their ECs came out 3 times less than ours, roughly.
Yeah.
So,
You just made a great point there, because I've heard certain companies saying he didn't use this 1 to 1 test or 1 to 5 test or 1 to 3 test, which would have put our cocoa or product in a better light. What you've got to realise, listeners, is that it doesn't matter if it's a 1 to 1 or a 1 to 5 or a 1 to 3, as long as it's been consistent throughout all tests. It doesn't matter. You've used an industry standard test, you've used it throughout every cocoa or every product that you've been testing, and that's the important part of. If you hear people saying, oh yes, but it wasn't done using this ratio test, don't listen. It was done the same throughout, it's replicable, and it's a good test, and that's coming from
it's
NPK.
Comparative, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, it's a very good test, and we back that testing. I think that the results of the cocoa test, I'm going to say, it's going to shock a lot of people. Just another thing, you guys, our customers, because we care about you. So if you don't shop at our store and you do shop at a different store, just make sure when you buy a bag of cocoa, you're actually getting 50 litres in it. Because unfortunately, if you look at Hydromag's test on page 20 and stuff, as we found out, and I am very keen to point out that, gold label. Unfortunately, the 60-40 mix, the cocoa mix, and the special mix, so special mix, cocoa and 60-40, unfortunately do not have 50 litres in. So basically what that's telling you is each customer is coming into a store to buy a product, they're paying for 50 litres and they're getting around 42 litres. So not only is the customer being robbed, but myself, the store owner, is being robbed, and that's why we're here to make sure this doesn't happen. So bear this in mind. We are dealing with this matter at the moment. So anybody who goes to any store and buys any bags of media, please check how many litres are inside.
Great point, Thomas.
Thank you very much. And if any of the companies want to speak to me regarding any of this, my landline's 0151 228 8306.
If any of the companies want to speak to me about it, Thomas's landline is...
One thing I will say though is I am a very big fan of Gold Label.
The quality was amazing, brilliant.
Yeah,
we have sent them awards.
Also, particularly 60-40 mix, it's a very good media.
Yeah, we've used it
and it's
for
popular,
months and months and months.
People don't complain about it.
No,
so.
we never complain about it.
No, people don't come back and say, oh, I got a bit of green growth on that, or I felt that there's a bit of there was salt residue, which does happen on some cocos, which we don't stock anymore.
And one other thing as well is Gold Label's cocoa media is very good, and we've started selling a lot of that cocoa media. It's well packaged, it's a quality product. So the only issues on any of these products are the levels that are contained within inside the bag. However, all of these products are really good.
It does say a lot though that we've found this out.
Yeah.
Yet we continue to stock Gold Label.
And we will continue to stock Gold Labels
because it's
as well.
A good product. We just want transparency.
Yeah.
In everything that we basically just want to be honest to our customers, so that when we give somebody an amount of cocoa to buy to fill the amount of pots they've just bought, the customer then doesn't come back to us and go, your calculation was wrong. You don't know what you're doing. I need another bag of cocoa.
Yeah,
that's all it creates. Really.
Yeah, and we're not going to take the egg on our face for somebody else's mistake. So if you come into our store and say, Thomas, you know, I've got a 24 pot system, how many bags of cocoa will I need? And then I work that out, and then they come back a day later and say, oh, well, Thomas, you know, that's absolutely wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. So that's what we're here to safeguard against.
Pete, we wanted your opinion. The last product that is in your magazine, one of the last products that's in your magazine, Botanicare. Now I've picked out Botanicare not because it's superior, or we don't know yet that it's superior to any other products, but it's so the next product that I wanted to talk about was Botanicare. Now we had Emerald Imports in last week. 2 weeks ago. That's the last podcast that we did with them. They're taking Europe by storm. It's all over America. And what's your opinion on Botanicare? They're making waves.
Yeah, well, you know, from what I'm told, like the most popular in two of the big hydroponic states in America, that's California and Colorado. I was speaking to one of their representatives at the Coventry show, and they were saying, well, they were showing me test results that they had with them. So they'd have their nutrients lab tested against other people's nutrients, and the test results look good. And so, yeah, I guess some of the other nutrient manufacturers have definitely got something to fear with Botanica, because if they're so popular in America, that obviously they must be doing something right.
Exactly. What we said last week is when a nutrient company comes to us and they say, oh, we've got the next best nutrient, the usual reply in the industry is, oh no, not another nutrient company. But we said it again last week, Botanica are doing something different, so they are somebody to look out for. And just a quick thing about nutrients is, I think Hydromag, in the future you may be doing some tests on nutrients.
I think it's a
long
way.
Isn't it?
It's a long way down the line. I say a long way. I don't know how near or far that will be, but it's just expensive.
Yeah,
and it takes a long time. Obviously, you've got to wait for the plants to grow.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to make sure that you've got consistency in your tests. You have to make sure that you have enough plants growing in order to say, yeah, this is definitely how the
environment. Keep everything the same.
Yeah, and of course your tests can go wrong in the respect that you could have adverse weather conditions or something. Because obviously it's going to be a massive indoor operation which you just can't afford to pay for. Well, we can't in this industry for those tests to be done properly.
But every nutrient manufacturer says that their nutrients are the best, and NPK would give you the advice of, if you're happy with your nutrients and they're doing the job that you want them to do, you stick with them. Now, what we tell each of our customers that comes in, to improve as a grower, you need to change things. If you want the same results, do what you've always done. If you want to get better, that's not the way to do things. So stick to your regime. Don't go changing unless it's under our advice. Your complete nutrient setup. Try changing one or two products. Some of the products that we really like and we're not afraid about shouting about is CX Hydroponics, Regeneroot, and their Headmaster. To be honest, their range is top notch. Another nutrient company that we really like is Hydrotops. A bit more for the advanced grower, but you're going to get results. But it comes down to the grower at the end of the day. If you need something basic and you want it to be easy and you need 20ml and a little bit of boost, CANNA. You get a very stable A and B with CANNA. The boost is, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, one of the industry leading sugar boosters, and you know what you're getting week in, week out. For taste and flavour, Plagron comes out trumps in some of the tests that I've heard about and have been done. So really, no nutrient company is really bad and no nutrient company is overtly brilliant. It basically comes down to the grower and what you want to get out of your fruit and veg. Would you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think people need to be wary of PGRs.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Some people, which are illegal in this country, I do believe,
yeah.
But some people are still trying to sneak those through. Obviously, like I mentioned before, we're in an unregulated industry, and so I think that's going to become increasingly more difficult to get those under the radar because of the new legislation that's coming out. But I don't know. With nutrition, you said that all nutrient manufacturers say that our nutrients are the best.
Yeah.
But if you speak to an honest rep from a nutrient company, what he will say is, look, they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, they've got to be, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, it's NPK, and then a few additives.
Exactly. I suppose like the source from where these those come from varies a little bit.
Yeah.
But Bill from Growing Edge Technologies said all our stuff comes from the same place.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If I was going to give anyone a tip on, you're talking about changing things,
Yeah.
and I think something that's massively underrated is foliar feeding.
Yeah, definitely.
'Cause, I don't know if you're aware, but obviously the leaves are a lot more efficient at absorbing nutrition.
Yeah.
And Nico, aka Charles, was telling me even one of his friends who only had plain water in his tank, and then he fed everything through the leaves.
Yeah.
Give all his nutrition through the leaves. So that's one thing that I'd definitely look at trying if you want to do something a little bit different. There's some brilliant foliar feeds out on the market, both organic and non-organic. Give it a try.
Yeah, if one of the products that we will actively promote in our shop, because we know how good it is Plant Magic's Evolution Spray. It's a veg spray it once a week, and you can see visible results. Really good. We know we're starting to get a big American listener base on this show. So for the Americans listening, you're thinking, hang on, why are they talking about foliar feeding? That's what we've been doing for years. What are these British guys on about? How come they're only just getting onto it? It's the same as digital ballast. They've been doing that for years. Foliar feeding is important, and if you're not onto it, you need to start getting onto it, because you've raised a great point there. You can literally get a plant from a little seedling to a fully fledged plant just by foliar feeding the correct measurements and dosages and knowing what you're doing. Absolutely spot on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Last thing, we know our customers love a good competition, but you're already running one, and it's a fantastic competition. Tell us more about it.
Okay, yeah, these competitions in the magazine just keep getting more and more out of control as regards to how much money they're worth. Like my editor said to me the other day, he didn't want to write the competition text because he was sick of not being able to enter the competitions. So he was gleefully looking at this full system that we've got on offer. So it's a 6-pot system with a reservoir, flood and drain, from a company called POTS Systems. That's POTZ. And also to kicked in with that, we've got some a full suite of Plagron products, and also we've got some testing equipment from Blue Lab as well. So yeah, if that's like pretty much full setup.
That's a really good setup, and to be honest, I work in a grow shop, and I'm thinking, I might enter that competition. Actually, that looks like a nice little giveaway.
Grow stores are welcome to enter it, but the only rule is you're not allowed to sell it once you've won it. You've got to use it to grow some beautiful produce and send it out to Hydromag. But yeah, runners up as well. We've got 10 cocoa pots going for a runner up. We only get about 500 to 1,000 people entering these competitions. So for all of those people who ring X Factor on a Saturday afternoon, spend £1 ringing X Factor, with a 1 in a million chance of winning. Forget that. Go onto our Facebook page, join our mailing list. It's free, and you might be in with a chance of winning. It's like maximum 1 in 1,000 people.
Yeah. Any of those parents listening that are thinking, I need a setup, enter the competition, and I promise you won't be disappointed. And what you need to be looking out for is next month's competition or next magazine's competition, because that's going to be even bigger.
Oh, it is. Yeah. All I'm going to say is 2 words. Oh no, it's not. It's several words. Okay, it's dim looks and £1,600.
You need to stay tuned for that one.
Definitely.
If you've been missing Thomas, this just goes to show live. We have Saturday at 20 to 6. The shop normally shuts at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, but customers have turned up. We've continued the podcast. Thomas and the editor have gone down to speak to the customers. We're always happy. We're not going to send them away.
No, we'd never send the customer away.
They're our number one priority, and that hopefully that comes through our podcast and social media.
So just a big thank you to all of our customers for that's been with us for our coming up to 3-year-long journey. I can't say thank you enough, because without you we wouldn't be here. So once again, thank you.
Okay, let's finish up with, if you need to check out our website, it's www.npktechnology.co.uk. Check out the Facebook and the Twitter, and share and promote this podcast, because
what's that other thing called again? I'm not good at this media stuff, Stephen. Instagram. That's him. That's the one. Instagram.
Just started on Instagram, so if you want to follow our grows and what we're doing,
where else are we going?
we are going to AutoPot's, the largest indoor chili factory in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Is it really? We'll find out. We have. Are we going to plug somebody else?
You're going tomorrow? You're going to AutoPot tomorrow?
Yeah.
We're going to AutoPot tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Who else could plug? Is there any then? I don't know.
I've been invited, but I've got to take my girlfriend to a car boot.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
To a car boot sale or just to a car boot?
No,
Yeah, just
Stick
stuff it,
her in the
just
back
stick
of
it
the
in the
car.
car boot. That sounds good. Take mine with you as well.
Gotta
Of
say
course,
one
we're going to
thing.
plug
Yeah, of course
somebody
you can.
else. Tell us your websites and competitions.
Okay, yeah, sure. Right. Visit hydromag.co.uk/competition to join our mailing list and enter the competition. Visit www.hydroshow.tv to watch the TV shows. Visit www.issue.com, that's ISSW.com/Hydro Magazine to read the magazine. Free Palestine. Stop throwing buckets of ice water over your head because you're wasting water. Love, peace. That's it from me. Thank you.
You little git.
Oh, hold on. We're going to have to backtrack here.
1 sec. Rick, editor, how long has this podcast been?
Woo! It's the longest one yet.
It is. You're not going to sneak in there, are you, with the...
The Ice Bucket
I
Challenge.
think he's going to sign off with the one of them. Now then, we're going to spend 5 more minutes. You can tune out if you want to, because we're moving away from
political now.
It's getting a little bit political. Ice Bucket Challenge for ALS. Now, it's ALS in America. It's motor neuron disease over in Great Britain and probably some other countries. You've probably seen it. You've probably got an opinion on it. I myself partook in the challenge and donated £5 to ALS because I believe it's a worthy cause, and I think everybody knows it's a weird cause. But there's been a little bit of controversy. Should we be throwing away our cleanly sanitised water, very healthy drinking water we have the privilege of having in our country? I say it doesn't really make a difference. What do you say?
I say it's a lot easier to put a sock on your cock, isn't it? And take a picture of that and put it on Facebook, which got banned. But yeah, that was the campaign in the UK for testicular cancer was people putting socks.
That one now, yeah.
Yeah. So that didn't waste anything, did it?
Yeah.
You know.
Apart from a sock.
Well,
Yeah.
no comment. No, I just do think it's a terrible waste of resources. Not only have you got like all the chemicals that they use to process the water being wasted, you're taking water out of the system. You're using electricity to make ice. It's just a complete waste of water. Now, like you say, it's a worthy cause.
A very worthy cause might be.
They've made a lot of money. I say they've made a lot of money. They've generated a lot of money for that charity, but it doesn't have to be. Come on. It's not really a challenge. It's not a challenge. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't sting. It doesn't do anything.
I agree with that. I love the charity. I've got some friends who unfortunately have had bereavements and stuff like that, and have had family and colleagues and so on who have suffered from this illness. It's a very saddening illness, and I 100% support it. However, I do also have an opinion on the Ice Bucket Challenge. I don't think it's much of a challenge, and I love a challenge. So I would do something completely different to that. Yeah. For this, I would do something like in the middle of December. I would jump into the Albert Dock, which is a big dock. Probably, what would that be? Middle of December?
At home, kids.
Oh, yeah, we've kayaked in it a few times, haven't we?
Kayaked in it. I'd probably do something like that, where I jump into that in me nuddy, my birthday suit.
Quick safety notice is myself and Thomas are very experienced mountaineers and kayakers, very good swimmers. So please don't try jumping the dock at home.
But I feel like I would like to do something
a bit more testing.
Yeah, a bit more testing, then put a bucket of water over my head, because, as you know, I've done a summit of Kilimanjaro a couple of years back in Tanzania, Africa. And
a shout out to the listeners in Tanzania.
Yeah, big shout out. We have 3 listeners in Tanzania, so big shout out. If any of you are in Moshi Town, say hi to Ashanti Tours for me, who got me to the summit of Kilimanjaro with my team of 32 porters. Now, hell of a place, and it was a life-changing experience for me, and one of the main things that I come across was the lack of water the children had from when I was walking through a mud-tracked village and looking at small 3-year-old children drinking from a muddy puddle on the floor. Then summiting Kilimanjaro 6 days later and looking at the glacier that's been up there for thousands of years, and to find out in 20 years time that glacier will be gone, and that's the main water source for the majority of people in Tanzania. So what that also says is in 20 years' time, they will have to import water. So the situation's going to be much harder for them.
Do you know a little, quite a disturbing fact actually, is it was brought to my attention by a good friend, Mark Wahlberg, and he did the...
Mark.
Yeah,
Oh, no, Mark, right,
All the
okay.
time.
I haven't seen it for ages.
And who's the other fella? The one who did Jason Bourne. Who's that? Who's Jason Bourne?
Born Identity.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
He's the one. He collected water from his toilet and did his ice bucket challenge from the water in his toilets.
Oh, well, that's different.
You know what's disturbing though?
What?
Our toilet water's cleaner than the drinking water in probably cities and villages like Tanzania.
Really?
Yeah.
I can believe that as well, you know, Stephen.
That's a bit of a sorry fact, isn't it?
Yeah.
I agree with your points.
Well, that was what it is for me. It's the principle of it. It's the principle. Like, if you... this is going to sound a bit ironic in itself, but if you were in a third world country and somehow you had access to the internet and you saw all these people throwing buckets of water over your head...
That's what I think.
How much would that piss you off? You know? So
and that's the point of view that I thought. However, the charity... I take my hat off to it. The awareness it's created is phenomenal, and that's why we're talking about this now, because it's created that much awareness. But I feel the same as you do, Pete, as much as I support the charity as well, because I've witnessed that firsthand, and that's why it's so difficult for me to not condone it, because I do think it's a good thing what the charity, and hey, yeah, it's only a bucket of water and you know it's all good and such, but when you've stood in the streets of Africa and looked at the children with no food and no water, it stems another little thought into my brain.
I'm going to try and wrap up this with a few little nuggets of information, just to give it a holistic view, the whole 360 view of the whole challenge. If you really do have a problem with throwing 10 litres of water over your head, then you're fully entitled to that opinion, as long as when you're brushing your teeth, you turn your tap off. Yeah. When you tend to have showers instead of baths.
Yeah.
If it's yellow, you let it mellow. If it's brown, you flush it down. And also, you don't eat a lot of meat, because here's a little fact for you. For every pound of meat that you've eaten, it costs 9,793 litres of water to produce. And it makes me think 10 litres of water for a good cause pales in significance a little bit. So if you really want to make a difference and sort of reduce some water, then let's reduce the amount of meat that we eat. Let's turn our taps off when we're brushing our teeth. Let's look at the amount of water we're flushing down toilets, which is cleaner than a lot of countries' water.
Grow our own produce in hydroponic setup.
Hell, to be honest, that's the best point.
Yeah, that's the first one. So scrap everything that you're doing from now on and just go out and buy a hydroponic setup straight away.
Yeah,
from here.
From
MPK.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because serious note and a bit of a comedy note, it's true. You're going to save a hell of a lot of water by growing your own produce hydroponically, because it's a self-sustainable technology.
And fuel.
Yeah, you could be growing corn, which is used for fuels for cars in America.
Just one last thing in support of the charity, though. I take my hat off to everybody who supported the charity and who has done the Ice Bucket Challenge, and a big round of applause, because it's caused some good...
Yeah. Whatever people's opinions, awareness.
Good awareness, and it has generated a lot of money for the charity, whether you agree with it or not. So, big hats off to you guys. So well done.
CEO shouldn't be earning 300 grand a year though.
We've got. It's great this, because Pete's got great opinions and I've got slightly sort
So
of
have you obtained this information? Have you done a company's search? Did you find?
Yeah, you can look at any charity online, can't you, and see how much they pay.
Okay, really quickly.
Okay, so now on this fact that he's just told me, that's raised a little bee in my bonnet. So I'll probably do some more research upon this now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come in, be the devil's advocate, one of Thomas's words.
Okay.
What shoes are you wearing, Pete?
Aussie Souls.
What shorts are you wearing?
Fat face.
What's the top that you're wearing?
Surfing 5 crosshatch.
Yeah. What are the CEOs of those companies earning per year?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
Would you tell me off if I said millions?
Yeah, undoubtedly they are. Yeah,
and that is a profit-making company that we don't blink an eye at, because they're earning millions. But the CEO of a charity who could very easily
he's
walk
good,
into...
Stephen, isn't he? He's good devil's advocate.
He could very easily walk into a director's job for a profit-making business and be on the upper ends of the hundreds of thousands. Chooses to work for a charity for £300,000, £200,000. I can't remember his name. I apologise, but the fella from the British Heart Foundation's on £170,000 a year. Ooh, that's my opinion. If we're not blinking an eye at these CEOs who are earning millions of pounds a year for a profit-making company, we shouldn't really be blinking an eye at the charity CEOs who make 170, 200 grand a year.
Just out of interest, has the CEO actually done the Ice Bucket Challenge himself?
Right, for all the competitions for Hydomag and Hydroshow, if you didn't catch it, don't worry. We're gonna, when we post it on the Facebook, we'll add all the information, all the links, and we'll put it all on the Facebook when we post it.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks very much, Peter.
Take care and see you all soon.
At NPK Technology in Liverpool, we pride ourselves on providing you with the products you need at the right price. Once more, if the products you want aren't in stock, we'll order them in for you. And if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, we'll happily point you in the right direction. NPK Technology Liverpool, going out of our way to help you grow. Visit www.mpktechnology.co.uk.
Life is good.